Welcome to Florida. Welcome to winter in Florida. How many of y'all are from someplace that's a little colder than here? That's the only reason you're here. We know that. How many of you are at RoboBoat for the first time? All right. So that's at least half by my rough calculation, and we've got another 5 or 6 teams, most of them from overseas that are not here yet. So what we want to do is give you all of the information that we can to help you be successful this week. Not just successful in how your boat runs on the course, but to make the most of this week for you. My name is Daryl Davidson, and I have the pleasure of being the president and CEO of RoboNation, and we're the ones that get to do these cool events and see all of y'all multiple times a year. If you're not aware of the other competitions and programs that we have, you'll find them on our website, or you'll find them in conversations on Discord. But there are a lot of things that you can use this as a stepping stone and a building block to move into some of the other areas. I'm going to ask you something now that may be a little different from what you're expecting. You're here. You've been working hard for weeks, months, maybe even years to get here, and you're focused on how your boat is going to perform on the course, which means how you'll end up doing at the end of the week in terms of performance and scores and standing. But what I want you to think about, especially today before it gets too crazy, is what else do you want to take away from the week that you're going to spend here in Sarasota? What do you want to get personally out of being here? Some of you came to catch up on your sleep. Okay? It's not going to happen. You may have come to get some sun. That's definitely going to happen. And hopefully not more than you want all in one day. But what I want you to think about are some other things that are a built-in inherent part of every one of the events and the programs that we do as an organization. Because we focus more on the community. We focus on your interaction with other students that are not on your team, those that you're going to meet this week that come from some very different backgrounds, very different universities and high schools, and schools and programs and cultures and backgrounds that are very different from your own. There's a whole lot you can learn from interacting with other teams. We've got you all put in the big tent down the way, so we're trying to make sure that you are near each other, that we foster those conversations, and not just among each other as you learn about the approach that a competitor took in building their system, or how they created their autonomous system. But you also are going to be surrounded by professionals, by subject matter experts from the U.S. Navy, from a wide variety of Navy labs across the country, many of them who are jumping through big hoops just to be able to get here this week with a lot of the mandates and things that came down last week. So they are doing all they can to get here. There'll be judges, there'll be course managers, they are people that you'll see the entire week and you'll interact with. Don't miss the opportunity to have a conversation with them and to ask them what they do and why they're here. Because you may find people that are not only really in the field that you may be specifically interested in, but you may also end up in a conversation with someone who's looking to hire people just like you. So those conversations and the opportunities that you take to socialize, to have fun, and to learn other things beyond just how your boat's going to work in the water. That's what I want you to think about as much as you can in between all those bursts of focusing on software fixes and mechanical glitches and things like that. All right, going back to the community part of what we try to do, how many of y'all are on LinkedIn? Okay, that's a good many of you. What I would ask you to do is to connect with each other during the week. When you meet somebody, find them on LinkedIn and connect. Any of the RoboNation team, look for us on LinkedIn and connect with us. If you don't have RoboNation as some reference in your profile, I would recommend that you put it on there, because it also allows a lot of employers who know the value of these competitions to find you. A lot of them go in and do their data searches on RoboNation and RoboNation programs. So it's just another tag that you can use. But make sure you do that throughout the week to help facilitate and build community as well. I also want to thank a number of people. Do we have the sponsor slide? That's the agenda, by the way, that you were just looking at. You'll hear all that later. There we go. These are the key companies that help make this event happen. A lot of them have invested time and money to allow us to be here, to allow you to be here. So when you meet people from those companies, just say thank you. A lot of them are hiring as well. So that's another opportunity for you. Make sure you take advantage of those during the week. All right, one of the other things that you're going to hear about during the week is the fact that RoboNation is developing an alumni program. And we're a little bit behind. We should have done it about 20 years ago. But we have been doing competitions and events across all domains for more than 30 years. And what we're trying to do is lean into a program where we can start to connect all of those people that sat in your chair 30 years ago that are all now really old, but they're also really established in their careers. They work for companies that are looking for opportunities like sponsoring your teams and hiring you and doing other things. In the effort to build that community, to formalize that community, we're going to be developing an alumni program. And we've got one of our staff people who will be here a little bit later in the week who's going to come around and talk to most of you to get your inputs, to get your ideas and thoughts on what you would want from a program like that. What can we do? How can we develop that to make it as useful as possible for you? So be prepared for that. And then the last thing is that in addition to the complexity and the difficulty and everything that goes into how hard this competition is, we want you to have fun. So we've got some social things built in. We've got some ways that we will, throughout the week, stir it up a little bit, and we want you to have fun as a fundamental part of being here. So that's the end of my remarks. Welcome. This is the largest RoboBoat ever. So you have the honor of being part of that. And going back to the cultural exchange and communication, we have 9 countries that will be represented by the teams here. So there will be some language barriers, but step out of your comfort level a little bit because I know you're all extroverts, and mix and mingle with somebody who may be a little harder to talk to. The benefits will be worth it. Now I'm going to hand it over to Juliana, who's got really good information for you. And I just want to say thank you and welcome. We're delighted to have you.
All right, always have to move the mic down. Thanks, Daryl. All right, welcome everyone. Actually, it's kind of in front of my face. So we're going to hold it. Welcome everyone. We're excited to have you here. For those of you who I have not met, I'm Juliana Smith. I work with Daryl at RoboNation, and I have the honor to be able to bring these competitions to life with a huge group of people working alongside. So I'm going to go over lots of different details today. A lot of it is things we've already gone over, either in the handbook or in team times. You also have printouts of everything in your packet. So we'll go through things, and as we go along, if we have questions, we'll hopefully answer those. So first, wanted to touch base on the most important piece. In case of any emergencies, on the back of your badges that you just received, you have 2 contacts, myself and Allison Young. You are welcome to call us at any point if you need anything. If you see anything, tell us. That's what we're there for. So at any point this week, feel free to reach out to us. If you need something urgently and you don't have time to call, look for an orange vest. We actually have a few that are already out that you'll need a little later on. You can contact any of those, grab them if you see anything, see any type of emergency, and we will be there to help. All right, the other piece that I wanted to do is introduce some of our staff. We have a huge group of people that have already been out here the past few days setting everything up. As you can see, everything is out and we're ready for tomorrow. So any of our staff who are here today that have been out here helping the past few days, if you can just raise your hand and wave, and we will give you a big round of applause. Thank you very much. The throughout the week, you will see them in black staff shirts. And then we also have our judges that will be out in blue shirts. And then all of you have your event shirts that are a sage green. And like I mentioned, any of the folks that are going to be serving a very important role that you have to interact with will be in those orange vests. That'll include any of our leads on the RoboNation staff, our technical director, as well as our course managers. You'll also see a few yellow vests pop up tomorrow afternoon. Those are our judge leads, so we'll have a judge lead on each course that your team lead will interact with when you're on that course. Next, we wanted to go over the schedule really briefly. I know that you guys have been looking at it. We've gone over it many times, but particularly today, we're going to get kicked off, and then we're going to have a quick little venue tour, and then we have a networking social. We'll talk about that at the end. But today is just in Team Village. You're building your boats, you're getting ready, doing your safety checks. Hopefully we can have a goal to have maybe all of our safety checks or 75% of our safety checks done today, so everyone's ready to hit the water tomorrow. So Tuesday through Thursday will be practice and qualifying opportunities. You'll be able to sign up for practice slots. Bill will go over that later. We also have presentations and assessments happening Tuesday through Thursday. And then Friday, Saturday is going to be semifinals. So that's when the scored runs will start. And then we will narrow down to Sunday with finals. The other thing to mention is overnight testing will start tonight. So anyone who wants to go ahead and access the hotel pool, you can go ahead and start overnight testing tonight. One more thing for the schedule, we also have our daily meetings. So today will be our first one that will be 5:15 this evening in Team Village. We do require one person from every team to come out. So make sure that you all are staying here on site and send one person for that 5:15 meeting. And then in the morning, we will kick off at a 7:45 meeting, and we ask that one person from every team is there as well. The venue itself opens at 7:30, so you all are welcome to come on site by 7:30. The tent will be open for you, and then we'll close up every day at 6. All right, a little bit more about overnight pool practice. So this will be open for 4 hours, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. This is open for anyone to access. So any of you are welcome to access. You don't have to be staying at the hotel to be able to come. Parking is free, so you should be able to just park in the parking lot right there. You have access to power. The only thing we ask is we do have some pool rules that are posted on the gates there. We just ask that you review them and make sure you're following them. And particularly if there is any lightning, so if we have any thunderstorms that happen overnight and you see lightning, if you could clear the pool, we will close during those times. If you have any problems while you're out there, you're welcome to contact me, and I'll be hopefully asleep right next door, but I'll be there to help. All right, so our venue, we are here in Nathan Benderson Park. We're back again for our 4th year. It's very exciting, and we have the tower behind you that you're sitting underneath. This is where your presentations will take place. So whenever your assigned presentation time comes, someone will come grab you and you will come up to the 5th floor to go to presentations. The 5th floor is closed to all of our students other than your presentation time, but while you're up there, make sure you take a look out because it is a beautiful view to be able to see out and see the whole course. Team Village is over here, the big white tent, one of the big white tents. Nathan Benderson has a ton of white tents going on right now. But this one is ours, and everyone has their own assigned bay for your working area. In your packet, there is a map that shows you which one is yours, and then we also have signs out there to show which one is yours, your assigned slot. We have all 3 of our courses out, and they're marked with Course Alpha, Course Bravo, and Course Charlie on the end. And then we have some tents that correspond with that you're able to work out of. And then we also have 2 other tents that are out there where our technical staff will be working. And then the big number 2 is our office trailer. That is closed just for staff, but if you need anything, you're welcome to knock on that door and someone should be there to help out. Number 7 is the big parking lot. So we have our grassy field that is behind that office trailer. That is where we are allowed to park. We're not allowed to park in this surface lot, and we're not allowed to park in circus parking. I don't think you want to park over there because you have to pay $10. Our parking is free. You should have gotten a parking pass when you checked in. So just make sure you have that. It shouldn't be a problem. If you run into any issues or if anyone tries to charge you for parking, let us know. You should have free parking all week long. All right, I think we have a map up for the Team Village assignments. So again, find your name and you should be able to find your corresponding work area. We also have a TV set up for our tech talks. So we'll have a few tech talks with some of our engineers and industry sponsors that are here this week. They will be giving talks throughout the week. We have a little team lounge area. Those round tables are there for you guys to spread out on. We know we have some larger teams, or if you want to bring in lunch, you're welcome to do that. And then we have our RoboNation booth. And again, if you need anything, come let us know. We'll help you out. A few reminders to keep aware of. I know right now it is very warm, but this morning when we got here at 8 o'clock, it was freezing. So definitely make sure to bring some layers, either sun protection or just layers to make sure that in the morning and the evening when the sun is not out, you are warm. Make sure to wear some shoes with sturdy soles. There is some leftover things. This venue is used for lots of different things. I know a few years back, there was leftover things from the tent that I ended up running my car into. So just make sure you're watching out for things and wearing sturdy shoes to be safe as you walk around. Wear lots of sunscreen and hat protection. We also recommend long sleeved UV shirts. Those are the best. They can also keep out the heat. We have some hats for sale. If you didn't bring one, you can grab a RoboNation one at the RoboNation booth. But just make sure that you are lathering with sunscreen, not just at the beginning of the day, but reapplying throughout the day as well. The other really important thing is to keep hydrated. So especially when it's those cooler times of the day, it's harder to remember to drink water. So make sure you're always drinking water, check in with your teammates, make sure everyone is staying hydrated. We do have 2 hydration stations in Team Village that you can continue to refill your water. We have some ice available for you as well, so make sure you're always drinking throughout the day. We don't have any provided meals on site for this competition. We do have a break in the schedule out on the courses so that you can go out and grab something. You're welcome to go to the grocery store. There's tons of food options nearby. You can have food delivered, but just make sure that you are eating in the middle of the day. And we went over the hours as well, 7:30 to 6 o'clock every day. All right, weather protocol. So we keep everything open for rain. So make sure that everything out on your boat is waterproof. Not just the bottom, but actually the top as well. We will continue to proceed with everything normal as if we have any rain. But as soon as we see lightning, within 10 miles, we will have to shut everything down. So we will keep you guys updated, particularly on Discord, but our course managers will be in contact with our technical director so that we can make that call. And then we'll have to make sure that we have a 30-minute period where we don't see lightning anywhere nearby to be able to open back up. When that happens, everyone has to vacate Team Village. Unfortunately, we can't be under any tents, so you have to go back to your cars. You're welcome to go off-site as well. We'll make sure to keep everyone updated on Discord if that happens. We do continue to stay open for wind, so that is kind of on the call from the technical director, depending on how windy it is, and if it's going to be a danger for any of our tech staff that are out on the water. So just keep that in mind. We will let you know if it is closed down for that. Next up, we have a look at the weather we have this week. So thankfully, most of the days are pretty sunny and actually pretty decent weather. It's going to be a nice week. However, keep in mind that Wednesday we're expecting a thunderstorm, so we may have some impact on our water time on that day. And then we're also going to expect some wind on Thursday, so that also may impact either the courses being open or your ability to actually accomplish things out on the water. So keep that in mind as you guys try to get as much done on Tuesday when we're having a good weather day. The last thing is Sunday, we're also experiencing a thunderstorm. Hopefully we won't be, but they are anticipating a thunderstorm coming through, so we'll keep you guys updated on any effects to the schedule, depending on what that weather looks like. All right, next up is Wi-Fi. So this is Nicholas Casassa. Is he nearby? Maybe? He might be in his office. Yes, okay. So there is a small 10 by 10 tent that's on the outside of Team Village. That is Nicholas's tent. He runs all of our network and Wi-Fi. So if you have any issues, please feel free to ask him about it. We have our Wi-Fi password out there for you. RoboNation Connect, all lowercase, can be used for the Robo Students Wi-Fi network for all of you to use. This is available all across Team Village as well as all of the team areas. The antenna that are attached around Team Village, don't plug anything into the open ports. This will bring down the Wi-Fi for the entire competition, so please don't plug anything in. And then if the Wi-Fi exceeds the available bandwidth, there will be a bandwidth limit. So Nicholas has threatened a 1 gig limit. But if you have any questions or any issues, feel free to find Nicholas and he can help you out. Hopefully all of you have already joined Discord. This is a QR code you can follow to join if you haven't already. Like I mentioned, there's going to be some things throughout the week that we send out, particularly schedule changes, weather updates, so make sure that you're updated on that and you have your notifications turned on. We use it throughout the event just to keep you updated. It's also a great tool for you all to use. We want you to interact with each other in Team Village, introduce yourself, but you can also use Discord to send out if you're looking for certain equipment or maybe something broke, another team may have it. So you can use that to be able to connect with each other and hopefully make your experience even better. All right, the other thing is special awards. So at the end of the week, we have our award ceremony and we have the opportunity to give out some special awards beyond even the awards that are from the performance that you have out in the water or in your presentations and assessments. Make sure that you are looking out for each other and seeing if there's any, exemplary behavior that you want to recognize. Maybe there was a team that's been helping out all the other teams that you want to make sure to recognize. Use this form to be able to nominate them to hopefully receive a special award at the end of the week and be recognized for everything that they do for the community. The last thing that I have is data sharing. So a lot of you have heard about this in team times, but we do have in addition to the digital online server that we also have a local server that is available for you here. It is in Team Village, and you'll be able to hook up to that and be able to share data throughout the day, every day of the event. So make sure you're utilizing that and sharing any of the test data that you're collecting throughout the week. We hope that it can be useful for you. You can use this QR code to find out more information about data sharing. If you have a question about the access to the online server also to see any of the stuff that's already been uploaded before the competition, let us know and we can get you access to that. All right, that is everything on my end. Thank you again for coming out. We're very excited for the week and everything to come. I'm gonna pass it over to Bill to give you all the details about the courses.
Hello! Who's ready for RoboBoat this year? All right, perfect. I do want to break script a bit and reinforce a few things. You guys are here to learn. You're also representing RoboNation. When we talk about things like practicing at the pool at the hotel at night, there's no lifeguard, and we are trying to sleep, so we won't be there. Please be good ambassadors for this competition. I don't think Juliana mentioned this, but we say your boat can go in the pool and one of your team members managing your boat can go in the pool, but please don't have your whole team go in the pool. The deal we have with the hotel is that's for testing your boat. We don't want to have the hotel tell us next year or tell us at some point this year that they're going to close the pool for us and we can't use it anymore because there was a team swimming and playing and not actually testing their boat. So please, don't have your whole team in the pool, just have your one member in the pool. Remember that you're near hotels with sleeping people. Try not to be shouting at each other across the pool, etc. This venue is awesome. Sarasota, being here is awesome, and we'd like to stay here. So please remember that you're here as an ambassador of RoboNation, as an ambassador of RoboBoat. Let's keep it a positive experience for our hosts here. And considering what we should also be talking about is safety. Another thing that we need to be careful of is this venue is really nice. You guys are going to potentially be working on your robots. You could be cutting or grinding. Remember where those cutting or grindings are going. When this competition is over, that tent goes away and the grass you're sitting over turns into just an open field that kids play on, that dogs play on, etc. If you've left shavings of metal in the grass in your team area and then someone steps over it, that causes a problem. We don't allow you to do any sort of shaving or cutting outside of the team area. You have to do that in your team area. And even when you do it in your team area, please be considerate of where those scraps are going. If you need to borrow a trash can, just let us know. Try to use your own bags. Let's leave this venue as perfect as we got here with. All right? So in general, also don't hurt yourself with those equipment. Think about safety. Wear safety glasses. Protect yourself from the sun. The sun is always trying to kill you. Remember that. In Florida, it does a really good job of that. Stay hydrated, use sunscreen. Stay covered. Weather is also a problem, like Juliana mentioned. We have rules for the weather. Just when you're at the pool at night, use your good judgment. I know you'll probably be a little sleep deprived. I recommend at least someone there on your team is responsible for making the call to say, hey guys, I think there's a storm coming, it's time to go. And be aware of critters. This is Florida. There could be things in the water. In this water, don't go further than you need to. Luckily, the animals in this water don't want to be around you as much as you don't want to be around them. So moving on to the course layout. So we've gone over this a couple times. You can actually see it in person now. So I'm not going to have this on up for very long, but this is the course layout. Again, this is not guaranteed throughout the competition. This is just the suggested layout. You may have noticed that course Bravo doesn't look like this. So keep that in mind. I also want to say a couple more things. A couple years ago I mentioned this, and it's kind of resounded with a few people. This is a competition. You're not competing against each other. You're competing against me. You guys are all together competing against me. That's where the cooperation comes from. You guys are all in the tent together. And there's another good saying I love to say in this competition. Software will win you the competition. Hardware will lose it for you. You guys will experience hardware failures. It's inevitable with prototyping. Don't get stuck trying to fix your hardware if there really is no hope. Talk to the other teams. I bet you the other teams have spares. I bet you guys can trade. We've seen teams trade actual programmers, like the people, for hardware. Because a team had more hardware and less programmers, and another team had more programmers and less hardware. That's what we'd like to see. That's something Discord is good for. You know, just asking for, hey, we've lost this brand motor controller and we don't have a spare. Does anyone have something like it? If all else fails, find me. Let me know what is keeping you from getting in the water. If you can't find it with another team, at least talk to me, because we want to get you guys out on the water. We don't want a single point of failure to have kept you from this competition. So please remember to talk to the other teams, please, and then come and find me. You may be competing against me, but I also want to see you guys succeed. Sign-ups for the course. If I could have my course managers come forward, they're the ones wearing the pretty orange jackets. This is a new style trend we're going to try to establish here. These are your course managers. These are the people you find to sign up for a course. If you remember the rules, you can sign up for one time slot. You cannot sign up for two. You can only sign up for one. Can you sign up for three? No. You can only sign up for one. These are the guys that have the power to sign you up. They will be out on course Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie, and they can sign you up for any slot in any course. You do not have to walk to the course you want to sign up to. You just have to walk to the closest course manager. And they'd be happy to help you. And again, we have divided this up into zones. We're going to have 3 teams on a course at one time. One team will be on the navigation channel and follow the path. One team will be on the docking structure. One team will be on the speed challenge. Remember, there's The last task is those boats that are moored out there. Those are moored around these challenges. So if you want to practice against those boats, you can pick docking and practice against the boats that are in the docking structure or nearby the docking structure. If you want to pick speed, you can practice against those boats that are near the speed challenge if there is one. Or if you pick nav channel, you can practice against the boat that's in the nav channel. So that's how you sign up for a course. The next question is, how do you get into the water? Well, first you have to pass my safety inspection. Who's ready for safety inspection today? That's it? Come on, more hands. Where's the positive attitude here? Remember, what is safety inspection? You need to show me you have an onboard kill switch. You need to show me you have a remote kill switch that works. You need to show me that when that remote kill switch loses power, let me say this again. The device you're going to show me for the remote kill switch, I'm going to make you pull the power on it. Either if it has a switch, I'm going to make you switch it off. If it doesn't have a switch, I'm going to make you pull out the batteries. And I'm going to make you do this while your boat is running. If your boat does not stop when the batteries come out, you do not pass safety inspection. So do me a favor, make sure you run this test first before you call me over for the safety inspection. I am the one doing the safety inspection. You will look for me. Or you could look for anyone for RoboNation. If you can't find me or an orange jacket, they will be able to call me. Next few things should be obvious. You need to have your tow line ready. You need to make sure there's nothing sharp or protruding from your boat. Everything is properly secured. And we also recommend that it's just obviously protected from the rain, because as Juliana said, we do not stop for rain. This is a boat, it should expect to get wet. So, once you've passed safety inspection, then what? Well, every time you get in the water, you have to be weighed in. We do this for the safety, to make sure you haven't gone over the safety limit for the boat weight. Every time you launch, you go to where that arrow is pointing, tent 11. There you'll find Damien. Damien, can you come out and shake and wave your hand? Everyone say hi, Damien.
Hi, Damien.
He'll be there to weigh you in. We also do a thrust test after you launch on the ramp. We will not make you do the thrust test every time during practice. However, with qualifying and semifinals, you will have to do thrust tests after you go into the water. So please let your ramp person know that if you tend to go in for scoring reasons, they have to do the thrust tests. What is the boat launch, you ask? Well, those are these nice ramps that we call Moby mats. We have two of them. They are between course Alpha and Bravo, and between course Bravo and Charlie. This is how you will launch your boat, on your trailer. If you attended the team time, we gave you some pointers for what the trailer must do. The trailer must sink. Has anyone actually proven that their trailer can sink? Your trailer must sink so that it sinks away and your boat floats off. So please make sure you've thought about that. One of your team members will be getting their feet wet. One of your team members will be going out with the boat, walking down this mat, and getting their feet wet. So please make sure you have a team member prepared with the appropriate footwear to get wet. And also please remember you need a team member to take your trailer back to the team village after you've launched your boat. I don't believe we were doing trailer parking, but we might set up trailer parking later. Question?
Weigh it on the way out.
Oh, and you have to weigh your trailer on the way out. Thank you. Now we need to make sure we get you in that habit as well, since your weight of your boat goes against your points. So that when you come out of the water, bring your trailer back to the weigh station, have it weighed, and then bring it back into your team area. Any questions on that? All right, battery safety. We go into depth on this for a particular reason, and that reason is this video, which we don't have sound, so I'm going to pretend to be the fire alarm for the video. Oh, no. Is the video not going to play? I'm going to have to click it. I guess not. All right, video fail. That was a still of a video of a battery catching fire here in Sarasota during RoboBoat at the hotel. Let's talk about this for a second. It was a cold and dreary night. No, I'm just kidding. We had a team go and plug their battery into their charger in their hotel room. They did not put it in a lithium fireproof bag. The person who plugged the battery in was not very well versed in how the charger works. And they almost left the room completely to go get dinner. By chance, one of their members decided they didn't feel like going out and stayed back. Thank goodness. So he was in the room and he started to hear a noise. He heard the hissing noise and saw the puffy battery and start to spew smoke. He grabbed the battery and threw it into his safety bag. Since they actually had a safety bag, they just didn't have the battery sitting into it. And then knew he had to get it out of the hotel. He looked out into the hallway and ran to the only place he knew how to get down, the elevator. What do you call an elevator when you're inside of it with a battery that's about to catch fire? You call it a coffin. He rode the elevator down, and thankfully luck was still on his side. He got out of the elevator, ran out the back emergency door from the lobby, and got only about 10 feet before he had to drop the battery since it was starting to break out into flames. That picture is 10 feet from that door where the battery turned into a flame jet. So what happened here? What teams have already designated a battery safety person for their team? I want the battery safety person to raise their hand. If you're the battery safety person for your team, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are more than 6, thank you. There are more than 6 teams here. If you do not have your battery safety duty assigned on your team, have it by tomorrow. I want to see everyone tomorrow when I ask the question in team orientation in the morning team meeting who the battery safety officer is. I expect a hand from every team. That person should know a few things. That person should have read the manual for the battery charger. Who's read the manual for their battery charger? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish, 6 maybe. All right, we're still at a good number. That person should understand the operation of their battery charger. They should have also tested their battery charger. Your batteries, if you're using lithium polymer batteries, have 2 connections. They have the thick wire connection and they have a small thin wire connection with a bunch of wires in it. Who knows what that small thin wire connection is? It's the balance port. That is the connector that allows the charger to monitor every cell individually. Because your batteries are made up of individual cells, and it only takes one cell to malfunction to cause fire. So it needs to be able to see every cell. That's what that connector does. The team that had this event did not plug that connector in. The charger was not able to detect what was going on in every cell. It did not know what it was causing. There's another duty for that connector. That connector also, by nature of how many wires are in the connector, tells the charger how many cells are in series for that particular battery. This team had a 4S battery, 4 cells in series. The charger was configured for 5. It did not know it was trying to overcharge this battery because it couldn't tell because that connector wasn't plugged in. And the test I want you to run with your charger is their charger allowed the charge to happen without that connector plugged in. So everyone here today, I'm going to ask you again tomorrow, I want your battery safety person to test your charger. Plug your battery in, plug the balance port into the charger, start a charge. Unplug your balance port. If it's a good charger and it's configured correctly, it should stop the charge and show an error. If it's a bad charger or not configured correctly, it will try to keep charging, even with the balance plug unplugged. Do not use it that way. If it does not pass that test, find out why. This team's, their charger could be set up for that safety feature, but it was not. So it just charged because it had its safety system disabled, and it would not stop charge even if the balance connector was not plugged in. We stress this enough. We take time to explain this to you guys now because this is one area in the engineering of this competition that is not forgiving. You don't get a do-over once your battery catches fire. We also have buckets. I'm skipping ahead a bit. So I think I've gone over some of these slides a bit. Don't over-discharge batteries. Over-discharging is the most common failure we've seen. That's usually because you guys don't have a battery monitoring system built into your boat. Who here on their boat can see what the voltage is of the battery remotely? Like it sends back to the OCU what the battery voltage is. That's a good design. Who here knows their battery or the subsystems they designed for the battery will automatically turn off the boat if the battery gets too low? Will your boat actually stop if the battery gets too low? Okay, that's a lot less hands than I like to see. So everyone who raised their hand for the boat could monitor the voltage, but put their hand down for when the boat stopped if the battery got too low, that means your battery safety person has another job. They get to override the team captain and say, we're done because the voltage is too low. No matter what you thought we could accomplish in the next 10 minutes, that is the extreme low voltage that we're allowed to do for our battery, so we're done. So I will also test your battery safety officers what that voltage is tomorrow. That's over-discharge. Over-discharge doesn't usually end in fire, but it does end in your battery puffing up and no longer working. Has anyone ever seen what a puffy battery looks like? I think we got a picture, but I'm skipping ahead again, so we'll see it in a second. What's the other problem? Overcharge. Overcharge is what I just described. That's what happened to our team in RoboBoat 2022. They overcharged their battery. Overcharging their battery ends in fire. Don't do that. We talked about how not to overcharge, so we can skip that. We've already talked about how to do that. Then let's skip to physical damage. You guys get tired. You guys get stressed. You try and shove your battery into your robot. Don't do that. If you really torque a lithium polymer battery, especially those soft cell pack ones, you can cause the plates to touch. That can cause a short. That can burn up your battery. Be careful with your battery. Do not cause too much physical damage. Next slide is the picture of a puffy battery. If you have a puffy battery, find us. Find someone in a yellow jacket or call Joe. Where are you, Joe?
Right back here.
Right back there. Don't be hiding. We need to find you in case of battery issues. That's Joe, everybody. There's his number. It's also on the, is it your number on the back of the card on your ID, or is it just Juliana? Might just be Juliana. Last slide. Always use LiPo bags when you're charging if you have them. You should have them. Never leave a battery charging while unattended. We talked about that in our story from 2022. And keep a bucket of sand nearby for precautions. Do we have a bucket of sand at the hotel pool, Juliana? Yes. She says yes. We have a bucket of sand for the hotel pool. So if you have a battery issue in the hotel pool, put it in the bucket of sand, call Juliana. Even if it's 3 a.m. She would rather be called than sleep through it. All right. I think I'm done. Was there anything else that we missed? Oh, I know that nod. Okay, maybe not. We are going to do a tour. It's mandatory. You're all going to follow me after this. After the tour, ice cream, right? Yay! They do not sound excited for ice cream. Maybe we should tell the truck to leave. All right, any questions before we start our tour?
You mentioned the tow line. I seem to remember we didn't have to have one last year, a tow line.
When I say tow line, I just mean a tow connection. So a lot of teams give us a harness, a 2-point harness to a single point in the center connection. That's what we need. We need a single point tow harness that goes from 1 point to 2 points in your boat to keep it stable. Remember, kayakers want to help you. Your boat needs to be mechanically sound enough to survive being towed by a kayaker. We have had that issue in the past. Make sure you're giving us a very sound tow harness. Make sure your boat has enough buoyancy to handle being towed by a kayaker with that harness. We are not miracle workers. We're all subject to the real world here. This is what this competition is. I told you guys that you're all competing against me. I have help. It's called that wind that was 20 knots earlier. If a kayaker has to tow your boat against 20-knot winds, it's going to be undergoing stresses. Make sure it's built well enough to handle those stresses. Question? We don't have a hard limit because it's hard to have a good measurement of that. And ideally, as long as there's not a safety concern, as long as my course isn't self-destructing, we keep operating. What will cause me to make the call to shut down is if the docking structure, if it's suddenly over the noodle line and 100 feet away, we're having a bad day and I'm going to close down. So it's going to be a judgment call for things like that. Does that make sense? Any other questions? Okay, Juliana had a question.
Not a question, just information about ice cream. So, after your venue tour with Bill, after you follow him around, the ice cream truck is set up and ready for y'all until 4 o'clock. So make sure you go by and grab some ice cream as you are setting up your space. We also have an impromptu networking social, so make sure to stop by the RoboNation booth and pick up a bingo card. You'll be able to fill it out, and tomorrow morning, if you turn it back into the RoboNation booth complete, it'll be entered into a raffle, and then tomorrow afternoon, we'll be able to pull those cards. So make sure to stop by the RoboNation booth to get your bingo card, get some ice cream, and good luck with today. Welcome to RoboBoat.
All right, everyone come on down. Let's get on the street.